Welcome back to The Alley. I'm your host, Bunny. My friends, have you noticed the shift in the weather lately? The sudden downpours can sometimes bring a somber mood. But other times, they remind us of ancient stories, of legends woven from the very fabric of these familiar natural phenomena. Today, let's brew a warm cup of ginger tea, sit back, and listen to the full story of one of the greatest and most tragic confrontations in the treasury of Vietnamese folklore. A battle that not only decided the love of a princess, but also explains a phenomenon that occurs every year in the S-shaped land of Vietnam. This is the full story of Sơn Tinh, Thủy Tinh, War of the Gods. The story goes that during the reign of the 18th Hùng King, the kingdom of Văn Lang was enjoying an era of peace and prosperity. The king had a daughter named Mỹ Nương, whose beauty was beyond compare, like a flower, like a precious gem. Her skin was as white as clouds, her long black hair as shimmering as a stream. But more precious than her beauty was her gentle nature, her intelligence, and her kind heart. She was the most treasured jewels of the king and the entire kingdom. As time went on, the princess came of age. The king, with a heart full of both joy and worry, wished to find her a worthy husband, not just a man of great talent, but also of great virtue, to help him rule the land. And so, the king issued a royal decree, opening a contest to find a royal son-in-law. Young men from all over flocked to the capital city of Fengzhou to display their talents, but none could capture the king's approval. Just then, two gods arrived at the same time to ask for the princess' hand. Both had extraordinary appearances and outstanding talents, leaving the king in a great dilemma. The first was Sơn Tinh, the law of the highlands. He resided on the majestic Bavi mountain. With a wave of his hand to the east would turn into lush green rice fields. With a wave to the west, ranges of mountains would rise. He represented stability, the earth, and the abundance of the forests. The second was Thủy Tinh, the king of the water realm. He lived in the vast eastern sea. When he summoned the wind came. When he commanded the rain fell. His power was the immense, endless, and formidable force of the ocean. One was the mountain god, the other the water god. One brought stability, the other wielded unpredictable power. The king was deeply troubled. To choose one and reject the other was an impossible decision. To decide between them, the Hùng King invited the two gods to display their powers. Thủy Tinh, without hesitation, waved his hand, and the water level rose, flooding an entire region. Sơn Tinh was no less impressive. With the point of his finger, the earth and rocks rose even higher than the water, easily blocking the flood. Their talents were perfectly matched. Seeing this, the king consulted with his court officials and decided to use wedding gifts as the ultimate test. The king proclaimed, "You are both worthy of being my son-in-law. but I have only one daughter. Therefore, tomorrow, whoever brings the wedding gifts first shall have Mi Nung's hand in marriage." The gifts the king demanded was all incredibly rare treasures. 100 platters of sticky rice, 100 pairs of square rice cakes, an elephant with 9 tusks, a rooster with 9 spurs, and a horse with 9 crimson manes. Did you notice? All of these gifts, from the rice to the animals, were products of the land, of the forest. It seems that in his heart, the king was already leaning towards Sơn Tinh, the god of stability, who could bring a peaceful and prosperous life to his daughter and the kingdom. This was a near impossible challenge for a god of the sea like Thủy Tinh. As dawn broke, Sơn Tinh quickly mobilized the inhabitants of the forest, prepared all the gifts, and presented them to the Hùng king. The king was extremely pleased and, keeping his promise, held the wedding ceremony for Sơn Tinh and Mi Nung. The new prince joyfully escorted the princess back to his mountain home. Thủy Tinh arrived later with his gifts, only to find that Mi Nung had already left with Sơn Tinh. He was consumed by rage, believing the king had been unfair, his heart filled with jealousy and resentment. His fury could no longer be contained, a god's fury unleashed. He summoned the rain and the wind, creating a storm that shook the heavens and the earth. Water from the rivers surged, swallowing homes and fields. The entire capital of Fengzhou was flooded. Sơn Tinh remained undaunted. He used his powers to lift hills, move mountain ranges, and build a formidable wall of earth and rock to block the flood waters. However, as the water rose, Sơn Tinh raised the mountains higher. The battle raged for months, the world shrouded in darkness, and the people suffered greatly. Finally, Thủy Tinh strength waned, and he was forced to retreat. Sơn Tinh was victorious, protecting his wife and the peace of his people. However, Thủy Tinh grudge never faded, and so every year, around the 7th and 8th lunar months, he would raise the waters to fight Sơn Tinh again, seeking to reclaim Mi Nung. And every year, Sơn Tinh would emerge victorious, preserving the peace of the land. The story of Sơn Tinh and Thủy Tinh is more than just a mythological love triangle. It is an epic of our ancestors in the process of building and defending their nation, specifically the struggle against natural disaster like floods. The figure of Sơn Tinh is a symbol of wisdom, resilience, and indomitable will of the ancient Vietnamese people in taming nature. The story also reminds us of the terrifying power of nature, for which Thủy Tinh rage is a metaphor. No matter how advanced we become, we must still learn to live in harmony with and respect Mother Nature. And the question I'd like to leave you with today is, if you were the Hùng King, faced with 2 equally talented gods, could you have devised a different way to choose a husband for your daughter without causing a war? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Legend Alley for more stories. Until next story, farewell.